Marjorie Taylor Greene is almost portraying this as the president being not staying to his commitments to his campaign promises to the American
Yeah.
people. And I would be curious to know, what do you think about how she's been making that argument? Like, I have my issues with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she's posturing herself. I think she is lashing out because she wanted to
Mhm.
run for Senate and was not getting the support that she wanted.
Mhm.
I looked up her voter, like her record as a
Mhm.
representative, and anything that she has sponsored has been pretty much politics. It's been
Mhm.
about impeaching Biden, or it's been about some kind of
Yeah.
resolution, but nothing, she talks a lot about the economy, the issues that her constituency is dealing with in regards to healthcare and everything,
Mhm.
but she has never presented a bill to try to solve any of these
Right. No
issues.
substantial legislation based on her
Correct.
rhetoric. Yeah.
And now
I think
she's
I
like
think she's
rebranding herself.
Yes, and I think that's precisely what it is. I think that she saw an opportunity, especially during the shutdown and with this Tucker. Remember, Tucker loves MTG, says she's one of the most like honest and loyal and transparent people he knows. So after that interview, I think she saw an opening for once this conversation, the America First conversation started, where everybody's kind of jumping on either side of this argument. But can we mention too that nobody actually understands what America First means, because it can mean like 25 different things to 25 different people, but whatever. I think she saw an opening and she is like, okay, I'm going to realign. She realizes that Trump's not going to be around forever. She could probably have a longer political life if she played her cards right than he will, in the sense like longevity years wise. I think she's comfortable in the House of Representatives. She makes a whole lot of money. Some stuff has come out about that this past week. But I think it reads to me very opportunistic. I could be wrong, and she could totally believe every single thing she's saying. I mean, it is good to ask if you cared so much about Epstein. I mean, that's her whole personality right now. Why didn't you talk about it the 4 years that Biden was in office at all? There was little to no
Why didn't
interest about
you
that.
suggest a resolution then? Why didn't you
Right.
do anything?
Right. And why is that what you're getting mad at Trump about right now? Trump has consistently been like, fine, release whatever. Like, he just wants to move on and do other things. And so it's really interesting she's picking that to be her pet project when there's so many other things that are happening inside the country right now with the America First mantle that she's taking on. And then she went
Well,
on
okay,
CNN and
specifically,
apologized. It's
yeah.
just all very weird to me.
So specifically on that, I find it curious because most recently she's or like the message that she's trying to portray, or the image that she's
Mhm.
trying to portray, is that the president has been in opposition because of the Epstein files, and
Mhm.
that he has lashed out at her, because he did lash out at her. He did post and retract his endorsement of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
And she's painting herself as a victim
Mhm.
because he called her Marjorie
Marjorie
Traitor
Traitor,
Greene,
saying she's
which,
getting death threats or she's afraid she might
yeah,
be killed.
and it's today on at the Capitol, she even
Mhm.
suggested, she's like, I'm getting just a taste of what these women behind me have experienced because Trump is attacking her, which I thought was
Like, you mean, a
like,
tweet?
she's getting
A
attacked
tweet?
and she's
Like, yeah.
getting hostile because of the posts from Trump. And so she
Okay.
aligned her
This is
victimhood.
politics. This is politics, Marjorie. You're
She
playing
was
the
trying to
game.
align
You
her
knew,
victimhood
yeah, with the
the victims that
Epstein.
are behind him, or
Okay.
her. So, but this happened because she talks about America First. And
Mhm.
she went on, I just want to play this one for you guys, because she went on Tim Dillon and talked about the immigration raids. So here we go.
As a conservative and as a business owner in the construction industry and as a realist, I can say we have to do something about labor, and that needs to be a smarter plan than just rounding up every single person and deporting them just like that.
Right.
So, and I'm going to get pushback on that, but
Yeah.
I'm just living in reality from here on out.
Yeah.
And if anybody's mad at me for saying the truth, then I'm sorry.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, ladies and gentlemen, our next president. Sorry, JD Vance. Sorry, JD Vance.
Okay.
That's weird. So is she saying that as a business owner, she employs illegal immigrants? Is that what she's saying?
Well,
Well,
that's
still,
why.
that doesn't feel very America First to me, so I'm
Then, so she
puzzled.
did, and I guess I didn't grab it because she did this. You know what? I do have it. I have it over here. So she did this long video because recently there was this entire debate and discussion about H-1B visas,
Mhm.
specifically because the president did an interview with Laura Ingraham and where
Right.
they discussed the H-1B visa, and he was trying to make the argument of why we need H-1B visas. Now,
Mhm.
I talked about it with Amanda during the last episode. I shared my opinions on it. I think under very specific parameters, I think it makes sense to have H-1B visas. Like, I prefer to have the Brainiac here in the United States versus in China, for example.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I think it has to be very narrow and specific reasons,
Yeah.
right? So she did that. That was over the summer, I think, when she did that interview. It was definitely a few months back. So now she has posted for the first time, because I've never seen her do a video like this where she's talking about legislation that she wants to pass.
Mhm.
So, and I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's kind of long, but you'll get an idea of what she's wanting to do
Okay.
here. If it, of course,
My
it's
dear
going. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Come on. Here we go.
I'm introducing a bill to completely eliminate the H-1B visa program, which has been riddled with fraud and abuse and has been displacing American workers for decades. There will only be one exemption in my bill, and it will allow for a $10,000 per year cap on visas issued to medical professionals like doctors and nurses who provide life-saving care to Americans. However, even this $10,000 per year cap will be phased out over 10 years to allow us time to build our own pipeline of American doctors and physicians. My bill will also restore the original intent of the visa, for it to be temporary. These visas were intended to fulfill a specialty occupational need at a given time. People should not be allowed to come and live here forever. We thank them for their expertise, but we also wish them well so they may return to their home country.
All right. So it goes on a little bit longer, but her basic argument there is that
Mhm.
she wants to eliminate the H-1B completely
Okay.
and that she doesn't want to have any incentive essentially for anybody to stay in the United States after they've used their visa.
Okay.
And I find it interesting because of the contrast between when it's her construction company that
Mhm.
needs people to help run her business.
Yeah.
She's like, we can't round everyone up. But when it's about sciences, when it's about more specialized issues, which would be a smaller group of people,
Mhm.
you don't want them to have it. And I get that she's
It's
creating a
interesting.
bridge here, but I would think that one of the things that we have that is most attractive to bring talent here to the United States
Mhm.
is the ability to stay in the United States. Also, I don't
Mhm.
know if I necessarily want Elon Musk, for example, to
Mhm.
come hang out here, train people for 10 years, and then decide to go to the highest bidder over, I don't know, in China or Russia or to one of our enemies.
Yeah.
And then we no longer have the access to him.
Yeah, it was interesting. Again, I feel like it's a very opportunistic moment for her to talk about that when she was just saying that we need to be smarter about illegal immigration inside the country. And yet in the video, she's like, we want to create, at the same time we're phasing it out, we want to create a pipeline to create or to produce our own doctors and physicians, which aren't they the same thing anyways? And so there's a part of me that's like, why aren't you saying the exact same thing and creating a pipeline for people who work in labor, people who work in the trades? And that didn't seem important when she was saying we just need to let illegal immigrants stay here because we don't have the workers here in America, which we do and we could. I think it's really interesting.
Well, and
Again,
she posted that video right after that interview.
yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
the
what I'm saying.
timing of it.
It's the timing, it's opportunistic, and she sees that her loyalty to President Trump either hasn't played out in the way she wanted, it hasn't been fruitful for her, so she's taking her shot now,
Well, and
distancing
I think
herself.
it's very because she's like, I'm America first and foremost, nothing
Mhm.
else, America first. And it's like so frustratingly simple. And I say that in the sense of America first, and this gets people upset, doesn't mean that we don't have interest in
Right.
having foreign relations. I don't want to send my money to foreign countries. I don't want to prop up foreign countries. I especially don't want to do any type of regime change. And I don't want to use it like, I don't know, like Bush was with Iraq, like thinking like we're
No.
going to bring democracy to the region by forcing it upon them
Right. America first just means whatever is best for
in our
America.
interests.
In our interest. And if that means us doing things abroad and it is good for America and Americans, then okay to that thing. But that doesn't happen as much as we'd like to think. We're involved in a whole lot of things that you could argue are not good for Americans or best for Americans or putting America and her citizens' interests at the top. But people are making it more difficult. I think that people are confused. They're almost, when they hear America first, they almost think that means American isolationists. Like we're going to remove ourselves from the global sphere. No, that's not what it means. It just means that whatever decision needs to be made, if it is good for Americans, then that is a good decision.
Yeah. I think that's one of, she's clearly made some significant shifts. And I want to play this last one for you because I'm pretty sure that you haven't seen it. And it's about 3 minutes long. I've cut it, but you'll
Okay.
get the gist of it. Okay.
Right.
And I just want to
I'm
get your
ready.
reaction on this one.
Okay.
Everybody listen closely.
My right to say that I think Sharia law and women being forced to wear burqas is the greatest threat to our freedoms as American women. I am 100% opposed to Sharia law in America.
This is June 2025.
100% unapologetically opposed to Sharia law in America.
I got to speak with Marjorie Taylor Greene tonight, and I asked her one of the things I was worried about, which is all this Sharia law Muslim concern I see on X.
Oh no, my constituents talk about the same problems that plague you and everyone on this call. I've never been to a town hall. I've never been asked about Sharia law at a town hall. I just haven't. I will tell you, I do think there's a paid social media influencer campaign going on X.
If you want Islam and Sharia law, you stay over there in the Middle East. You stay there and go to Mecca and do all your thing. And you know what? You can have a whole bunch of wives or goats or sheep or whatever you want. You stay over there. But in America, see, we made it this great, great country. We don't want it messed up. But I think it's a lot mostly on X, and I think it is paid, and it's probably coming from Israel or APAC donors.
Do these people think that they're not being videotaped and recorded and that people can't very easily find all of this stuff at the drop of a hat?
That original video was about 3.5 minutes long. And the dates actually range from 2017 to 2025. But the last little bit that I clipped it was June of 2025 compared to November of 2025.
Yeah, it's really interesting too, because when they don't like something that's being talked about, it's AIPAC and Israel. Yeah. But then they can shift their talking points around. It's that's like two different people. And I think that I don't know if she thinks these podcasts are too small or their platform isn't going to gain national notoriety, but how do you think you can say two opposing things and it's not going to no one's going to hear it?
Nobody's going to notice it.
I don't know. She's definitely switching things up. She definitely has her eye on a prize. I'm not sure what that is.
That one really took me back because I live adjacent to her district because it is the furthest, largest, most rural district in North Georgia, and it shares the state line with Chattanooga, with Tennessee. And I can tell you that I went to an event recently at my church. Now, granted, this was at a church, and it was I forget the name of it, but it was basically like how to educate yourself in local politics. So it was a civics-minded program or session. And one of the questions that a lot of people were asked was what is one of your largest concerns right now? And the issue of Islam, the rise of Islam, was said multiple times.
Right. Yeah.
So I find it a little hard to believe, especially knowing her district, that that would have never come up at all a single time in one of her town hall meetings. Now, it's possible
I'm
it
sure
didn't,
I'm
but it
sure
would
it did, though.
surprise me.
It would have to. I mean, it's coming up all over the place. It's a conversation that all of a sudden we're all kind of being forced to have because we're seeing the influx and the growth of Muslim communities, and the fact that, like, in this last election, like 40 different Muslim leaders or politicians were elected into office on the state and local
Yeah.
and federal level. It's a conversation that's definitely being had, and for her to say that it's never come up, that must be paid. You get your $7,000 from Israel for saying that. You're
It's pretty
watching a
wild.
politician use rhetoric and talking points, instead of just
That's
being
why it's
open
like
and honest. It's really interesting.
she's